the biggest, most determining factor whether or not you will succeed at achieving your goals is the story that you tell yourself. Have you ever heard this phrase? I am bad at math. It's very common. Like you come across like one out of two students, they'll probably say the same thing. And believe it or not, for us, we unconsciously have stories about why we can't achieve our goals, even though we are pursuing it in the first place. And that may be I suck at speaking, I am afraid of this, I cannot do this, and etc. So, just to give you some context, I recently had an amazing experience just yesterday, and it's around running 400 meters. And as you know, if you are like in track and field, 400 meters is one of the hardest race in track and field. And back when I was in 14, I made a mistake. I always like see myself as a good runner back in high school, but the problem here is um, I suck at 400 meters. So when I tried running for the first time, because they actually need people to run on our sports day, and they couldn't find anyone. I said, hey, I saw people running 400 meters. How bad could it be? So it was a pass baiting event. So when I was on the field, I was thinking, okay, this is gonna be a piece of cake. And then when it was my turn to receive the baton, boy, like it was tough. My legs was like jelly by the 300-meter mark, and I was basically jogging like towards the last 150 meters. It was extremely tough. And believe it or not, I feel that I was the reason why our team lost in that pass baiting event, because I was so damn slow. So I was like humiliated. I was like, shit, never again am I gonna do the 100 meters, cause the story in my head was this: 400 meters is extremely tough. Like whenever I think about 400 meters, the years after that is always the experience of my legs being jelly, me not completing the race because I ended up like jogging very slowly all the way to the finish line. It was horrible. That's the story, and that's the belief I have about the situation. So I want you guys to think like, this is your goal. Alright, this is your goal right now. And this is you. What are all the stories that are you telling yourself, like, that are holding you back from achieving this goal? So, for example, it can be in the form of, I'm afraid to do sales. That's a very common problem. Like maybe you guys have social anxiety before, like you've actually talked to people and then you screw up and you get rejected, humiliated. It's like, oh shit, like never again. Like whenever you think about picking up the phone and calling someone, you have this like pit of anxiety in your stomach, and then you visualize the scenario of you getting rejected. Like it's a very, very common problem, and that's why the worst case of this is actually trauma. Like trauma, people getting bullied, being like sexually harassed and so on. It's an extremely, extremely emotional experience that you don't want to face again. So you guys probably have a lot of those things, and the point I want to try to make is this: like the biggest thing that you could do for your success is probably changing your story that's in your head. Like there's a lot of things you feel like example, have you ever heard the term that business is hard? Like starting a business is hard, it's difficult, or making money is difficult, all right, or trying to get the girls of my dream is hard. Like the partner of my dream, if you're a girl watching this, there's a lot of narrative that society, not just us, not from our experience, but society, there's people telling us like this, people telling us that, how the world should look like, how the world should behave and so on, that we develop all those stories and all those limiting beliefs that is pulling us down. And the most successful people in the world, the reason why they can achieve things effortless, is they have a better worldview than us. Like they may go completely broke and then they can suddenly rise back into the occasion and become millionaires again. Why? Because they have better worldview than us. Their beliefs are better, they have more empowering beliefs, they have better stories in their head rather than limiting ones. So I want you guys to think from this video, what are all the limiting beliefs that you have about yourself around the goals that you want to achieve? So let's say you've been pursuing a relationship. Finding the partner of my dreams is extremely hard. I went to this, that, and this date, and it didn't work out. The last one was like horrible. I felt like vomiting. Like, I don't want to ever do this again. It's the story that you tell yourself that's gonna stop you from achieving your goals. You have to flip that. Like Carol Dweck talked about this a lot. Like, I probably, like, maybe tons of you guys already heard this already, but it bears repeating. But I'll go one step further. Above the growth mindset is assuming that your goals is already somewhere. It's just a matter of you finding it, the matter of you taking action every single day, and then suddenly it comes into fruition. So of course there's like oh, I'm not quite sure if I'll achieve my goals. There's this uncertainty. But you just think about it. Alright, let's say you have a toothpaste on the floor or on the table, and you say, I'm gonna pick it up, and then you pick it up. Or maybe if even you don't pick it up, you just stare at it. Then maybe a stranger passed by, and then you saw the toothpaste on the floor, and you say, is that yours? Then you say, yeah. Then they help you pick it up for you. If it's not you getting the toothpaste, someone else will get it for you. So that is the assumption that you want to have about your goals. You already assume that you're going to get it. It's just whether or not you will go for it. It's like buying a newspaper. So that is above the growth mindset. Like, instead of having a fixed mindset, like, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. Most often, the reason why you're not achieving your goals is you're probably not doing certain things, or you are actually doing too many things and you should do less. So you would intuitively know what you're actually doing or what you're actually avoiding. Now, your actions wouldn't produce you any results if the story you tell yourself is stopping you from doing certain actions. Like, let's say you have to be more outgoing to achieve your goals. If you feel that being outgoing is going to be a threat to your ego and it's going to be painful because of some experience far in the past, you probably won't be successful. You have to overcome it. So, in order to change the story in your head, this is the fastest way. Number one, you have to find someone who's already achieved the goals that you want and mentor under them. Because by hanging out with them, your paradigm changes. Your paradigm changes that, wow, this guy can achieve this so easily. Why can't I? Not just finding a mentor, finding a community, finding people, like-minded people, who are pursuing your goals or have pursued your goals, and hang out around them. But I cannot emphasize the importance of this. If you do, the story in your head slowly changes. But what if you're by yourself? Being by yourself is actually going to be pretty hard, like, believe it or not, because we have a lot of blind spots and sometimes we don't really know that about like what's stopping us. But if you do know, you have an idea, write it down. Write down the stories that you have in your head. And what you want to do is you want to face the fear front on. Face it. Even if the worst case scenario happens again, you're going to promise to yourself, okay, I suck at math. I suck at talking to people. But, if it's going to be helpful for me to achieve my goals, I'm going to accept whatever that is going to happen. If I'm going to get rejected, I'm going to accept it. If I'm going to get humiliated again, I'm going to accept that. Because you care about your goals more than you care about the story that is holding you back. And that is how you want to leverage things. You want to set yourself a standard. I'm going to care about achieving my goals more than all of the stories that I tell about myself. May it be, I fear being broke again. I feel like, I'm going to get rejected by this person. I'm going to screw up. I'm going to look stupid. Even if you end up crying, by doing something that you really, really are afraid of doing, you say, I'm going to choose me first. I'm going to love me first, not the thing that I'm fearful of, and I'm going to care about achieving my goals despite all of those things. But, again, the fastest way is to actually find someone that's already achieved what you want and following under their footsteps. And that's why I'm sharing this video, so you do not get stuck in pursuing your goals again. So this is pretty much it for this video. Alright, like, the key point here is this: the stories you tell yourself is really, really important. Alright, if you have a negative narrative of you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh yeah, about the 400-meter story, I forgot to close it up, but I just did it yesterday, 400 meters, and true enough, it wasn't that bad. In fact, I actually loved it. It wasn't as hard as it was 11 years back, and because I was fit and whatnot. But before I did the 400-meter race yesterday, I was really, really afraid. I literally visualized myself failing or my legs being jelly doing the 400 meters. I was having a lot of doubts, can I even complete this race? What if I suck? I'm gonna feel myself, but what if I fail? And I was Amos, you came very far, you've trained very hard, you can squat 120 kilos for reps. How could you possibly fail at the 400 meters? And throughout the time leading up to the 400 meters, I was very, very anxious. But when I did it, I was hey, it wasn't as bad as previously. In fact, I did pretty well. Of course, I mean, okay, the time I did was 1 minute and 4 seconds. It isn't world class or anything, but given this is my second time doing it, it's actually pretty good. In fact, it makes me even more motivated to practice for the 400 meters again, so at least I can try to get 55 seconds. That would be impressive. Believe it or not, a lot of us did something just once, and we already say that we suck at it. And that's pretty funny. Imagine, you propose to a girl that you like once, and you get rejected, and it's suck. I want to say a curse word, but whatever, I won't use it. Shit. I actually suck at girls. And then you have this story in your head that, I suck at girls, then you end up blowing all your opportunities because of this just one insignificant event of you being blown off by the girl that you like. Can you imagine that? A lot of our story that we have is just from a one-time event that would probably be different if you encounter it a second time. Even if you did, okay, I'm gonna give you another helpful visualization or logic, thing that will change your logic, if you will. This is your life, alright? A line, this is a graph, alright? Throughout your life, you will encounter a lot of different situations. Let's say, I'm gonna give you an example, alright? Sales. This day you did bad. This day you did bad. This day you did bad. This day you got a sale. This day you did bad. This day you did bad. This day you get a sale. So if you ever get attached to one particular day, oh, I suck at this day. Oh, I suck at this day. Oh, I suck at this day. Oh, I'm actually lucky, but I suck. You see, the story that I'm portraying here is you don't want to see your story in events. You want to see your entire life in a broad perspective sense. You may encounter a lot of failures along the way, but it doesn't mean that you are a failure. Kentucky went through a lot of failures. He got rejected 999 times or 99 times, I forget. But the last time he became a success, and he had this entire franchise which is now popular all over the world. So whether or not you fail right now doesn't mean you'll fail 1 year from now, 2 years from now, a decade from now. I'm not saying that it will take you a decade to achieve your goals, but it's what Tony Robbins said. Most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade or 2 decades. So you want to think of things in a long-term perspective. So this is about how to change your story, how to rewire the limiting beliefs and story that you have in your brain. I hope this video is convincing enough for you. So, to wrap things up, pay attention to what you see in your brain. If you won't tell your kids that, you suck at this, don't do that to yourself as well. Instead of saying that you suck, change the story that, I currently struggle with this. and I'm gonna face my fears and try it again until I'm successful. So if you like this video, subscribe to this channel for more content like this, and if you like to personally work with me to be your life coach, to help you to achieve your goals, to help you give clarity of mind, to change your limiting beliefs, etc., hit me up in the email below, and I'm glad to have a conversation with you on how I can help and how can I serve you. So till next time, and thanks for watching. Peace.